You're this perp back with another video, and this is my episode 14 review of Attack on Titan, the final season, or season 4. Now, due to the earthquake that happened last week, the episode got cut off short. I think there was only like 17 minutes out there. They did get to show a lot of the interesting parts, like the sit down and all that. I'll be talking about that in this review. Episode 15 is also going to be out as well, so stay tuned because I will have that review up very shortly after this one. So this episode, we've been waiting for this. This is picking up where episode 13 left off, where Hanji and everybody, the scouts, are pretty much being held hostage by the Jaegerists. And you have Eren just sitting down, wanting to have a discussion with Mikasa and Armin. This was such an intense back and forth, because what Eren does here, essentially, I know a lot of people are going to possibly have issues with this, but he's just telling them the truth about themselves. We learn that Mikasa is literally just a lapdog. She's supposed to just take orders from Eldians and whatnot and serve the king. We get a lot of backstory on the Ackermans and what their bloodline is and whatnot, as far as them being like failed experiments. They have Titan powers, but they are more so in their body, if that makes any sense. I know that sounds kind of weird, and they need a host to activate that. So that's why Mikasa was having all those headaches. You kind of saw her throughout the series, her head hurting, and that was due to just that being activated. Really interesting stuff here. And then he starts to take a dig at Armin, and Armin really gets in his feelings about this. He has enough of what Eren is talking about, because Eren's really talking down to him, but he's also just telling them the truth. And he's telling both of them, like, I'm free, I can do what the fuck I want, you guys are slaves. And this is really fucked up. And Gabby's just sitting there in the cut, just completely in shock, like, yeah, this dude is not to be fucked with right now. Really dope shit. So things get really personal. Then Armin ends up trying to leap over to attack Eren. Mikasa gets him in an armbar, and Eren's like, pretty much like, you see, it's in your nature to protect me, so you're stuck like that for life. But then Armin's able to get a clean shot on Eren. Eren eats that shit like it's nothing and tries to fight Eren, fails. Eren whoops his ass, beats the shit out of him, and Eren's like, yo, all you had to do was tell me where Zeke's at, and we didn't have to go through all this, we didn't have to fight or anything. Speaking of Zeke, he's out there in the woods with Levi and his crew, and mind you, we find out what's in these wine bottles are spinal fluid from Zeke. So we're wondering, when is all that going to come into play? Well, we learn quickly that, Levi's talking to himself. He's starting to put things together. And as soon as he turns around, he sees Zeke running. And the look that Levi has on his face is priceless. Like, what the hell's going on? So now Zeke ends up roaring, activating all the Titans, even going as far as, affecting the people back at Paradise, in town. Even Falco kind of says, like, man, like, something feels off. So that tells me, like, Zeke's roar is very powerful, man. Like, it doesn't matter where a person could be, is that he could just activate it at will like that, and that's powerful. Him just being in his human form, imagine if he was in his Beast Titan form, how much more powerful his Titan ability would be. Man, that's just interesting to me. But then you just see all these different people just being turned into titans surrounding Levi. And this is what's interesting, is that Zeke thought that, you know, Levi wouldn't kill his own comrades. You thought wrong. And Zeke tries to make a run for it out the woods because he needs to meet up with Eren to get this thing done, because he realizes that Marley could be here at any moment and they don't want to waste no more time. But before he could get out the woods, Levi catches up with him, and, you know, they go back and forth. They have this epic back and forth fight. This is technically round 2 or round 3, however you want to look at it. But of course, Levi wins. Easy as hell, you know. It's not even like a chance. Like, Zeke never even had a chance to even come close. Now he's dragging his body to out of the woods. Talk about Levi. We don't know what he does with Zeke. We're just got to wait. But before we get to that, we get a scene of Keith talking to a bunch of scout recruits, and he's just doing the normal thing. And then Floch comes in, and he causes a bit of disturbance amongst the recruiters, and pretty much he's able to get some of the recruiters on his side. And it's so interesting to me that Eren and company are able to just really create this like coup and just completely just take over, because they realize that, you know, the people at Paradise, or the scouts, you know, they were fucking around. They were too soft. You know, they weren't able to do what needed to be done, and that's why they follow Eren, because they saw what he did most of them saw what he did at Marley by himself. We still don't know exactly what drew him to Marley to make him make that decision by himself, but I'm sure we're going to get answers sooner than later, depending on how they go about the rest of this series. But going back to what Floch was doing to Keith, before he takes the recruits, he tells the recruits, like, beat the shit out of Keith till he can't walk anymore to show your allegiance. That was really fucked up. I think Floch is just insane. He's on a definite power trip. But the episode ends with Levi and Zeke. He literally has Zeke he has his neck tied to a thunder spear, so if he moves the wrong way, the thunder spear is just gonna completely blow him up. And Levi's just having his way with Zeke. We also get a little flashback, which I'm assuming that episode 15 is going to finally give us Zeke's complete backstory, which is really dope. But that's pretty much the gist of this episode. Let me know how you guys feel about it. Gotta go watch episode 15. Till the next episode review, I'll see y'all later. Peace.